What do we got going on here today, Dan? So Noctua, the kings of air coolers and fans, are now making an all-in-one cooler. So we're gonna take a look at it today, get it installed, and see how it performs. Let's start with the unboxing. So this AIO is available in a few different sizes, but we've got the 420 millimeter version we're going to unbox and install today. So let's go ahead and get it cracked open. So this is the Noctua logo, and this piece right here is actually going to magnetize to the head of our AIO. Let's take a look at the fan kit first. And it comes with 3 NF A14 25 G2 fans. And now we've got our accessories kit. And we've got all of our accessories for AMD, for Intel. We've got a cleaning wipe. We've got the instructions. We've got the thermal paste guard for AM5 CPUs. We have a 3-way split cable. We also have a fan extension cable, and it's gonna come with Noctua's NT H2 thermal paste. And it also has got a Noctua screwdriver, and then all the hardware needed to secure the fans to the radiator. Now let's take a look at the AIO. So I'm not going to go over how this AIO works, but if you want to know all that information, Noctua provided me with a bunch of links that I'll go ahead and list below if you want to check that out. So taking a look at the AIO itself, this is the 420 millimeter version like I mentioned. And then if we take a look at the side, we've got the Asetek and Noctua branding right here. It's a very sleek black AIO that looks really good, and it's being powered with 1 PWM cable. It's a very clean looking AIO, and these tubes actually swivel really easily. So this movement is really easy compared to other AIOs. So that's interesting to see. And if we take a look at the bottom, we've got a sticker we'll have to remove before installation. And then like I showed earlier, there was this piece, if I can grab it, right here. So this is actually just gonna magnetize onto the head of our AIO, and now we have the Noctua OWL logo on here. And I think that looks really good. It's a really dark brown. It almost looks black. So that looks really cool. But one thing they do sell on the side, it does not come with the AIO. They have this auxiliary fan. So this actually just magnetizes on there as well. And we've got 1 PWM cable powering this. So once we get this magnetized on here, get it lined up, there we go. Now we have a VRM fan. And I hope they make this in black eventually, because I do love the brown, but for this we're going all black. So I don't think I'm gonna be going this route, but maybe we'll do some tests to see how it performs. So with this out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the parts going in this build. So for the case, we've got the Noctua and Antec Flux Pro collaboration. This is a black and brown case with a ton of airflow in it. We also do have a screen on the side right here. And then obviously we're using the Noctua 420 millimeter AIO. And for our motherboard, we've got an Aorus B850, and we've got 32 gigabytes of Team Group T-Create RAM, which is non-RGB and just all black, and it should look really good. We've got a WD Black NVMe right here. And then we're using the AMD Ryzen 9800X3D, which is a very warm running CPU. So we'll have to see how it does with the Noctua AIO. And we've got an Aorus Master 5070 Ti. Then we've got the Noctua and Seasonic collaboration PSU. And yes, this is extremely overkill for a 5070 Ti because this is 1600 watts, but I really wanted to go all out with the Noctua side of things. So we decided to do this one in the build as well, but maybe I'll pair it with like a 5090 or something later on. We've got all these extension pads, and these are gonna be for our fans. So we've got a bunch of A12 25 G2 fans, and then also a 14 25 G2 fans. Because like I showed earlier, the AIOs are going to come with brown fans, but I want to fully black this thing out. So we have a bunch of 120s that are going to go in the case, and then we have 140s, and I believe there's 1 in the rear, and there's also obviously 3 on the AIO. And I believe that's it. So we have a bunch of fans here as well. So massive shout out to Noctua for sending out a bunch of these parts. But on that note, let's just go ahead and jump into the build. All right, so I'm at a bit of a stopping point, but there's a few things I wanted to go over. We've got the motherboard in, we've got the rear fan, bottom fans, and also the front fans, and then all of our I/O connections are all hooked up, so they're all coming down here. We've got USB-C right here, USB-A, front panels going through here, so is HD audio, and those are going through their respective parts of the motherboard. But one thing you probably notice is the controller for this case is naturally up here, but when it was up here, I didn't really like the cable mess that it created, so I actually relocated it to inside this drive caddy. So the front 3 fans are being routed down here, and then you can see there's 3 cables down here. So these are all of my fan cables right there for the front fans. And then if we go this way, you can see the controller's actually in the bottom shelf of the drive caddy. So I've got the front fans hooked up to it, and then the bottom fans, I have them routed this way, and then you can see the 2 cables right there, and they're going in and to the controller, and then I have a cable going back plugged into the motherboard so I can send the signal from the fan controller to the motherboard. So I believe that's everything done so far. And with that, you can see our cable management is extremely clean. Oh, and as far as the rear fan, the case comes with really long fan extension cables. So I actually have one just plugged in, and it's being routed down here, and it's going through here, and it's going to the motherboard. And once the PSU in is, I'm gonna kind of tuck this cable like this, and then tuck this over as far as I can get. So cable management so far is looking really clean, and now we've only got the power supply cable, so it should be really, really easy. But on that note, let's go ahead and jump back into the build. All right, so the build is all done and it looks incredible. We've got a nice, stealthy, non-RGB blacked out build. And we've got a lot of brown accents on the case, which I think looks really good and will work really well with a lot of different setups out there. But the only lighting we have on this case is actually the digital readout on the side right here for our CPU and GPU. And then that lighting down there, that's actually from the Noctua controller. And I'm not sure if you can turn this on or off, but right now it's kind of glaring through the side panel, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe there's a way to disable it on the controller, or I can hide the controller a little bit better, but that's the only lighting we have. And there is a slight tint on the side panel. And we've got a lot of reflections on camera right now, but we can see the components through the side panel right now. And I was actually really blown away with the attention to detail in this case. This is the Asetek and Noctua collaboration, and just the presentation of everything that it comes with was really nice to see. And it is Noctua, so it is kind of expected, because with this case, you actually get 6 of their fans. You get 4 A14s and 2 A12s, and these are the G2 variants, so it comes with quite a bit, and the presentation is really, really nice. So if you want to go the Noctua theme, this case and everything is a little bit expensive, but it is that Noctua and Asetek quality, so I think it's worth it. So the build looks great, guys, but let's go ahead and take off these panels and then take a look at the inside. So just in case you skipped the section where I went over all the components in the build, we'll go over them again. We've got a 9800X3D CPU. We've got an AORUS B850 motherboard from Gigabyte. We've got 32 gigabytes of Team Group T-Curate RAM. We've got a WD Black SN750 NVMe, and then we've got an AORUS 5070 Ti Master from Gigabyte. And then all of the fans are Noctua Chromax G2s, but on the front, the rear, and the top, these are the NF A1425 G2, so those are all 140 millimeter. And then on the bottom, we've got the NF A1225 G2. So we've got 5 intake fans. We've got 3 on the front, we've got 2 on the bottom, and we've got 4 exhaust, 1 on the rear and 3 on the top. So we've got a little bit of positive pressure, and temps so far have been absolutely fantastic, but we'll cover that a bit later. But the build overall is so nice, and it came out even better than I thought it was going to be, because I knew I was going to cable manage it extremely well, but was unsure how it would look at the end, because obviously we do have quite a few fans with a lot of fan cables with all of those fans, but it ended up being really, really clean. And I really like the look of this AIO. I'm really glad they went the black route. I'm hoping in the future, I'm not sure if they're gonna have one, but I hope they have a SKU where they include the Chromax fans instead of the brown ones. So we'll have to see. This video is gonna drop when those AIOs drop as well, the same day. So we'll have to see if there's a SKU that has the Chromax fans with the AIO, because I personally think that would be the way to go, because it can be kind of expensive to buy the AIO. Then you also have to buy these 3 fans too if you're going for all black. But if you're going the brown route, then obviously you can just use the fans that it comes with. But really clean. Cable management is awesome. These Seasonic cables, the Noctua PSU, look really clean with those black and brown bits. And then I ended up using the brown ties that come with the PSU. So we've got a couple wrapped on the GPU cable. We've got a couple on the AIO to keep these tubes nice and clean and together like this. And there's also one on the 24 pin right there as well. So really clean build, almost no cables. The only thing showing is this cable right here. I really tried to figure out what to do with that cable, but that was the best I could come up with, because I actually ran out of fan headers, because originally I wanted these 2 to go to the motherboard, but I didn't have enough fan headers to make that possible. So I had to loop them down to the controller down here. And you can see some of our cable management in front. It's a little sloppy right here, but with this panel on, obviously all of that is going to be covered. So it's a little bit of a mess down here. I could clean it up, but at the end of the day, this is not visible, so who really cares? So go ahead and taking a look at the back now. Here is our cable management, and it is really, really clean. I think relocating that controller from here to down here made a world of difference, because now on the back, we have almost no cables. We've got all of our IO cables right here coming down, and they all go to the motherboard. We've got our USB-A right here. USB-C is tucked in with our motherboard 24 pin. Our CPU cables come up this way. I ended up routing that rear fan through here and down into the motherboard, while earlier I showed it coming down this way, and I felt like it just kind of stuck out on that side. So I decided to route it with the bulk of our cables. But we've got a really clean cable management here. And then coming down, all the cables are kind of bunched up together and just tucked in, and it looks really clean. You can see the lights on the controller down there. And then all of our front fans, the cables come down right here. So from this angle, it is really, really clean. But cable management came out great. It was actually really easy to do as well. Didn't really run into any issues. Just kind of had to plan it out. I would install some fans and then try to route them a certain way, and then occasionally it would work, and then sometimes I would have to kind of change the direction I want to go. But overall, it came out really, really, really clean. So let me know what you guys think of the build down in the comments. But let's go ahead and move on to how this performs now for the AIO. So let's get into it. So I've been benchmarking the crap out of this PC for the majority of last night and also this morning while I'm filming this video, and we're running an OCCT benchmark. And then, sorry, I've got such a tiny screen, but the CPU's pretty much been hard stuck at around 79 degrees the entire time I've been running the test, and hasn't budged from the 79 to 80 degree range. And this is a 9800 X3D, and we're pulling around 132 watts. And I really wanted to get a 9950 X3D V2 for this one, but I couldn't get one in time to make this video, and also they're like $1,000, so couldn't really justify spending it for just this video. So ended up using a 9800X3D, which is a warm running CPU, and this AIO is taming this thing extremely easily. And keep in mind, this is at full load. We're at 100%, 131 watts, 132 watts, kind of bouncing back and forth. So this AIO is definitely doing its job. And I'm just using the stock fan curves. I decided not to adjust them at all. I'm just using the default profile for both the pump and all of the fans. And I'm not sure if you could hear it on camera, but the fans are moving quite a bit. I think they're at around 1200-ish RPM, and I could barely hear them. I mean, it is Noctua, so they're kind of known for being very quiet. So very cool running PC, very quiet as well. And overall just doing its job extremely well. And I've benchmarked this CPU with other AIOs, and so far this is the lowest temperature that I've seen. And then I was also watching Gamers Nexus coverage of this with Noctua, and they were benchmarking a 9950X3D V2. Either that or it was the first version, but that one was at like 81, 82 degrees, and I believe that thing pulls like 230 watts. So this AIO is definitely doing its job and keeping this PC cool. And then when I tried a few games, it was in the mid to high 60s, and for a 9800X3D, that is absolutely incredible. So I am really blown away by how good this AIO is. So the last thing I want to touch on is overall impressions of this AIO, and so far I like it a lot. Very, very easy to install, because on the AIO, there's basically a screw on this side and a screw on this side, and the only thing you have to figure out is what accessories you're using on the motherboard. So you've got 4 spacers, and then you've got the 2 brackets for AMD, and then you just screw the pump directly onto those brackets, and that's it. You're not messing with accessories that go on the AIO and figuring out everything that needs to happen. So very, very easy to install. It runs extremely quiet. I can't hear it at all. And obviously we've got the Noctua fans on there. So this system is absolutely dead quiet, especially at idle right now. Like I can't hear the fans at all. So very easy to install. Functionally works extremely well. So overall, I'm very impressed, and I'm really glad, like I said earlier, that they went the black route. I thought for sure it was gonna be brown, but I'm really glad they went the black route, because I have a feeling that most people with this AIO have black builds, maybe a stealth build, or maybe just something they want the absolute best cooling. So I think the black route is great. I just, like I said earlier, I hope they have a SKU for the black G2 fans instead of the brown ones, but we'll have to see. I don't know pricing, unfortunately, as of yet, but when this video drops is when they come out. So I guess we'll see once this video goes live, and maybe I'll update the description and pinned comment with pricing as I get them. But overall, I really like this AIO, and obviously if you want the best of the best when it comes to all-in-ones, I don't think you're gonna get any better than this Noctua cooler. So really excited with it. Once again, thank you to Noctua for providing the case. They provided the fans, the PSU, and a few other goodies as well. So big thank you to Noctua for sending those out. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like the video, share it with your friends. Let me know if there's anything I can improve with my videos, as I'm always trying to make my videos better, and I'm always open to critique, even if it is extremely harsh. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.